Okay, so just recently I've decided to upgrade my CPU fan and heatsink. Before I was using the CryoRig C7, which is 25% cooler than the standard Intel heatsinks. Anyway, so I decided to move away from that because it was a bit small. So what I'm installing today is the Deepcool. It's the Tuf Alliance Gammaxx GT Heatsink and Fan. It comes with this Aura Sync LED sync, wada. But yeah, there's the specs there. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, this is anyways. So yeah, it looks pretty cool. So I'm going to be installing it into this. This is my computer. I've just got this Challenger 5700 XT with the Evo 970 Evo Plus drive with the Tuf gaming board, Asus Tuf Gaming, and I just got two 8GB HyperX chips there with the EVGA 750 watt power supply, and those are just extra hard drives on the side there. So anyways, so yeah, I'm going to unbox this now, and then we can see how easy it is to install. This is the first time I've done it, and I've just, doing research regarding CPU fans. I saw there was only one real video on this particular model, so I thought I'd add another one just for those that want to, are interested in getting it. It is a cheapish heatsink, but it looks pretty cool. It goes with the decor of the graphics card and the motherboard. So yeah, let's unbox this baby and see what it looks like. Right, so this is the box. It's got all these little labels on top here. Let's see what's inside here. It's got that little badge on top, which is pretty cool. That's that Tuf Alliance. Goes with the board. So red, blue lighting, strong clip brackets. I'm not a big fan of those clips that they're using, but anyway. The fan and what I see. Yeah, so that's pretty much how it comes packaged. Okay, so we unpackage it, we take out, this is obviously the screw box, and it's got all the cables and the bits and pieces in, which we'll get to just now. This is the actual fan. So a bit of a mess coming out, but anyway, we'll put that one side because there's not much in there, it's just a manual. So this is pretty much what you're getting. It's got a nice little decor on top, which goes with the decor on the board. If you look closely, you can see there's those patterns and so forth on the board, which match up nicely with the heatsink on that, with the patterns on the heatsink. So yeah, that's the fan. It comes with that Tuf Alliance sticker on there, which is quite cool. This is the pipe. So you got these 8 pipes, which are all direct copper onto the chip, which I thought was quite nice. I'm no computer genius, but just learning bits and pieces, and you pick up all this stuff on the top here. The trim and whatnot lights up. So I'll do another video once it's installed. I have had a look at the instruction manual, which is pretty self-explanatory actually. Comes with all the parts and the bits and the pieces. You don't really need any fancy screwdrivers and all that, which is number one here. So I think we'll turn it over. This made more sense to me here. So yeah, we'll start off with the brackets. So we'll put that one side here, and we'll move on to the box. This box has all the bits and pieces inside it. So obviously that's the cable bag. You've got a little bit of the gel for the top of the CPU chip. Just helps with conductivity, I guess, and so forth. There's those little plastic or metal clips that hold the fan onto the heatsink itself, and those are their little attachments and whatnot, and those are for your LED connections and fan connections and so forth. Oh, actually, sorry, just the LED connections, because there's 2 into 1. But we'll get to that just now. So these are the other little bits that come in it. I gather, just from working with PCs a bit, that the longer brackets are for the AMD chips. So I don't think I'm going to be needing those. These smaller chips, brackets here, look like they're for the Intel boards. And this is the backing plate which goes on. And I assume it's going to go onto the board that way around. There, that's that. These are the little clips here. They have given you 2 extra, which looks like you can put an additional fan in at some point. But I wonder if you can actually get the yellow Tuf fans like this one here. If not, then it's pretty pointless. If you can get those, then it'll be nice because you can have a push-pull configuration. But yeah, okay. So let's start off with the backing plate. They say you should put this. You can see on there it's got the markings for the AMD boards, and then obviously for the 115 star CPUs. So I guess that's the shape of the nut. So I'm just going to push those in there. I've got one in already. That's obviously where it's all going to mount to, I would assume. So that's in nicely over there, and then one more on this side here. Where were we? Right there. Okay. That's going on a bit skew. There we go. Yeah, so those are AMDs and AM something else or other. Okay, so what I'd make out, so we've got to put those through onto that. Okay, so backing plate will go on the back of the board here, I assume. And then those will line up there. You can see how all those screws are lining up there. So I'll put this in here, and I can tighten these down onto the board, and then okay, so I assume it's like that. It's got these little rubber stoppers on it so it doesn't damage the board itself. So put those on there. I'm just holding the backing plate down whilst I screw these little front nuts on here, and just give them a little bit of a bite. Okay, I'll give them a small tighten, not too tight I assume, but just tight enough to just carry the weight of that heatsink. Camera's a bit close, but we should be fine. Okay, so that's 3 on. We'll do another one, the last one on the top here. You screw that on there nicely, and what I might do is just get a big flathead screwdriver and just nip them. So that one is now on there. There we go. Now I'll just get a big flathead. It's a bit big, but what I do is I just want to get it so it bites nicely, you know. Not so it's so tight, but just there. Okay, so there we go, all tight. Now we're going to put the fan onto the heatsink so we can mount the heatsink onto that. And what I might do first off is I might put these brackets. So what I can make out, the brackets slot in there, and they go, so they slot in from the back first, and then they clip in, and they've got these little cutouts, so it's all situated itself nicely. And they've given you these little screws here, which will go into there, and then I'll use a small Phillips and just tighten that onto there. There we go, nip it up. We do the other side, so again, hold this cable back, so again it slips in from the back first, and then those little notches, just grab it in place there, and then we can put that screw in again. One of these little grub screws here can go into here, over there, and then we just tighten it up. Boom. What I might do is just give it a small nip just to make sure it's nice and tight. Okay, so that's pretty much that. Then what I was thinking of doing anyway is they got this cable exposed here, so I was going to mount my fan in line with this, obviously like that, just so all the cables are together for cable management. Just trying to keep them more composed, I guess. So these things, yeah, funny clips. What I assume these is these clip onto that. So we'll just have a look at the instruction manual quickly. Where's that fan section? Oh yeah, so it clips on there. So I guess like that, and then those go onto there, and then that will just right onto there like that, and then you can put the other side on. So grab another clip, and the two little legs on the end look like they grab onto those screw holes there, one there, and then you push it down, I guess, until it bites there, like that, nice and firm. I'll give it just a little wiggle just to make sure it's all lined up nicely, I guess, which it looks pretty well. Cool. So again, I got all my cables coming out the bottom here. That cable for the LED lighting on top is all tucked behind the fan, and from what I can see, it's not going to interfere with it. So yeah, that's great. So that's that. Oh yeah, that could be a bit of a mission putting those on. So what I might do, you see, now this is why I did this video, just to help somebody, you know. I might take these clips off again. Ugh, bit of a tricky one, but anyway, takes these clips off again. So what I've done is I've removed the fan. I think it'll be easier to screw these clamps down onto the motherboard without having the fan on, and then I guess clipping the fan on once it's on, because those clips aren't too hard to work with. But that's just what I'm going to do, you know. Some people might have a different idea of how to do theirs. I'm just going to cut this little zippy tie thing off here, so that the cable is freed up out of the way. There we go, make this all nice and straight. Okay, so let's get this bad boy on. So what I'm assuming is going to happen, we need to put paste first. I'm going to use the cryo rig paste that I had. What was there? I think that comes off, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. It's just on screws. I'm just going to put a couple blobs. Generally what I do is I just put one blob in the middle of it. They say you shouldn't put a massive blob, so I've got to watch out it doesn't squirt out. Squirter. Come on now, is it dried up or what? There we go. Okay, and what I do is I just generally paste it around there so the chip's nicely covered, you know, sort of like a colouring in a picture, you know, stay within the lines. There we go. And I guess once the heatsink is on there as well, it'll push it more to the edge of the chip, you know. But yeah, that's pretty mint, I think. Cool. Okay, so on this brackets, they got, you can see that there's a little bit of play, so you can actually slide these little things, the little arms. The idea is to pull this off, and then all that copper is exposed, which is quite nice. Like I said, copper directly onto the chip will help with. Okay, so now I'm going to put it on. I've moved these all in by the look of it, and then we just put it on and just get them to bite on there. I have taken the little sticky cover off, which will allow the copper pipes to make good contact to the CPU chip. And then I'm just going to screw these on. What I might do is take a Phillips for better reach, and then just screw it on. I'm not going to tighten one up continuously. I'm going to do them up little bit by little bit each. So I guess it goes down. I guess it goes down a bit more evenly. Spread the paste, I guess. So that's going on there. That's quite nice. Okay, let's do the top here. Get that on more. Oh yeah, feels so good. There we go. Do this one over here. Oh yeah, look at that. This one over here. Okay, I guess I'm just tightening it until it's nice and firm, you know. There we go. Not too firm, because I don't imagine all the pressure on the motherboard. You want to be careful about what you do, you know. You want to make sure that your chip is covered nicely by that, which it looks like it is. That's all looking good. Right, so that's pretty much how the heatsink sits on there. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the fan on. I thought it would be easier to mount those clips without having the fan on, because the fan's now going to create a very tight little area for it to work on. And it might be a bit tricky to put the fan on, and I've got to watch that I don't put too much pressure on the board, but I'm sure it's not going to be that tricky. So one clip there, one clip there, get you on there, and then you can just grab that and then just guide it on there, that's nice and firm on there, and then we can do the other side. Take another clip. This one's going to be a bit more tricky because it's so close to the graphics card, unless I take my graphics card out, which I don't particularly want to do, but I might just see if I can get in there, if I can grab that, yeah, on there, and I can grab that on there. It's a bit fiddly, like I said, but I'll get there in the end. That could go there we go, boom, and that one's on that side, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of pressure on the little arms, and then that could grab on nicely there, you see, so that wasn't too tricky. I'm just going to push the fan around a bit just to make it snug. There we go. These things here, cables can go upwards for cable management reasons, and then they're tucked away with a RAM as well, I guess, which is not a bad thing. But yeah, that's pretty much what it's going to look like installed, which doesn't look too bad actually, compared to that little CPU that I had on there previously. Cool. Right, so I finished with the install. I routed all the cables through the top there and the cable management bracket going up there, and then I've got my RGB down there, which is connecting via the back. Yeah, that's pretty much what it looks like installed. So when we switch it on with these Asus Tuf, with the Asus Tuf motherboards, the Tuf Gaming, and the little silhouette down there, like glow and with LEDs and so forth. So when I switch it on, the heatsink or the CPU fan should be in sync with the motherboard. Let's see. Oh yeah, so you see the motherboard's got its own where the Tuf Gaming is, and then so the lighting on the heatsink actually does with it. And like I said, those top accents all illuminate with the side fan, which is quite cool because I actually put in an LED strip on the bottom because it was quite dark, even though I got the little LED fans over there at the top and in the front. You can see the front of the case lighting up there. But it's a bit dark, so I wanted to get something with LEDs just to lighten it up a bit. And yeah, that's pretty much what it looks like. Yeah, so I hope you enjoy my video. It's another video on the internet of this specific heatsink. Thank you.